The sun over Chicago burned like a warning that day, flooding Midtown Plaza with white-hot light. Food trucks sizzled, office workers laughed, and the air smelled of summer and exhaustion. Amani Brooks had just walked out of the hospital after a brutal 12-hour shift, still in her scrubs, her body aching, but her heart steady. She wanted coffee, maybe a moment of quiet, but fate had other plans. Near the fountain, an elderly woman suddenly collapsed, her body folding like paper. Without a thought, Amani dropped her bag and ran. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" she said, kneeling beside her. The woman groaned, clutching her hip, pain written all over her face. Amani steadied her, fingers on her pulse, reaching for her phone to call 911, until a harsh voice sliced through the crowd. "Hands where I can see them!" She froze. The words hit like a gunshot. A police officer, white, tense, hand twitching near his gun, was striding toward her. "Sir, I'm a nurse," she began, voice shaking. "This woman fell—" "I said don't move," he barked. Amani lifted her hand slowly, one still holding her phone. "I'm just calling for help. Drop it!" "It's my phone," she said, confused, heart pounding, but before she could blink, he lunged. The phone flew from her hand, cracking against the concrete. The sound was sharp, final. The crowd went silent. "You're under arrest for assaulting a civilian," the officer snapped. "What?" "I was helping her." But he didn't care. He grabbed her, twisted her arms, and slammed her face into the pavement. Pain exploded through her elbow, her head hitting the ground hard. The plaza gasped. "She didn't do anything!" Someone yelled. Phones lifted. People recorded. No one stepped in. The officer Thorne pressed his knee into her back, cuffing her with brutal force. Her hospital ID swung from her lanyard, bright against her scrubs. He didn't even look at it. Across the square, a man stopped in his tracks. Elias Brooks, her brother. He saw his sister's body pinned beneath a cop's knee, and something inside him went cold. He'd seen this before. Too many times. A black body on the ground, a white uniform claiming control. But this time he wasn't a bystander. He was a federal judge. He moved fast, wallet in hand, voice calm but deadly clear. "Officer, that's my sister. She's a nurse." "Let her go." "Back up," Thorne ordered. Elias held up his ID. "I'm Judge Elias Brooks, United States District Court. You're detaining a civilian without cause. Release her, now!" The plaza went still. The crowd whispered. Thorne's eyes darted to the ID, hesitated, but his pride overruled reason. "She resisted arrest," he muttered. Elias's voice cut like glass. "You just assaulted a medical professional, in public. And you're on live stream. Phones everywhere. Cameras rolling." Thorne's jaw tightened. "Hands where I can see them!" He barked again, turning toward Elias. "Don't!" Elias warned. But the officer stepped closer, hand twitching toward his weapon. Elias moved, smooth, precise. One trained motion. He grabbed Thorne's arm, twisted, and brought him to the ground. Not a punch. Just control. The crowd erupted. "The brother's a judge!" Someone shouted. Elias knelt beside Amani, unlocking her cuffs with Thorne's own key. "You're safe," he whispered. "I've got you." Her lip was bleeding. "He didn't even ask," she said softly. "He just hit me." "I know," Elias said. "And this time the world will see." Sirens screamed. Patrol cars swarmed. Guns raised, then froze. Their own officer lay cuffed on the ground. "He attacked me!" Thorne shouted, desperate. "He assaulted an officer!" Elias stood tall. "Check the live stream." "I never raised a hand until he cuffed mine." The commanding officer stepped forward, Lieutenant Vance, sharp-eyed and steady. She took Elias's ID, reading it carefully. "Judge Brooks?" "Yes." Her gaze shifted to Thorne. "Officer Thorne, you're being detained for excessive force and civil rights violations." The square exploded in disbelief and cheers. Cameras flashed. Amani struggled to her feet. Elias steadied her. "You okay?" "I will be," she whispered. "But this can't be all that happens." "It won't be," he promised. That evening, headlines burned across every screen. Cop assaults black nurse in public. Her brother, a federal judge, intervenes. For once, Brutality had a witness that the system couldn't silence. But Elias knew this wasn't justice. Not yet. Justice doesn't end with cameras. It begins when the system has to face itself. Hours later, Elias sat in a holding cell. No robe, no title, just another black man behind bars. His wrists were red, his suit wrinkled. Across the room, 2 officers whispered. "Think he's somebody?" one asked. The other shrugged. Elias said nothing. Let the truth surface on its own. Power made systems nervous. Exposure made them dangerous. They processed him like anyone else. Fingerprints, photos, the works, until one officer looked at the screen and froze. "Wait, this can't be right." "It is," the other said, voice low. Silence filled the room. His name echoed like thunder. Elias Brooks, United States District Judge. The same system that trusted him to uphold the law now treated him like a threat for defending his sister. The irony burned deep, but he stayed calm. Somewhere else, Amani was giving her statement. Outside, the video was everywhere, millions watching, arguing, demanding answers. For once, America saw not just another victim, but a man from inside the system pulling back the curtain. But Elias knew how fast stories twisted. By morning, the reports would blur. The badge would try to rewrite the truth. Suspect resisted. Force justified? It always did. Still, this time, the faces had names. The world was watching, and that was power. Fragile, dangerous, but real. He leaned against the cold wall, breathing slow. Justice isn't what happens when you survive, he thought. It's what you do afterward. The cell door creaked open. An officer handed him a phone. "One call," he said. Elias dialed. 2 rings. "This better be good," came a tired voice. "It's Elias." A pause. "Damn, you okay?" "I need a favor." "Quiet and fast. Emergency hold on Officer Victor Thorne, CPD. Excessive force, civil rights violation. There's video. Multiple witnesses." "You're calling from a precinct?" "Yes. They arrested me for stepping in." "You understand the optics of this?" "That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for the law to do its job before they bury this. Adrian Jacobs, the Deputy Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Old friend. Powerful man. You know this will explode," Adrian said. "I'm counting on it." Silence. Then, "Give me 30 minutes." Elias hung up. Outside, the station buzzed. Phones ringing. Officers rushing. Somewhere, a printer spat out papers stamped in red. Emergency hold. Minutes later, a young black officer appeared, nervous but respectful. "Sir, this way." He led Elias to a private room, handed him a phone. He pressed one. Adrian's voice returned. "It's done. Thorne's being taken into custody. The media's already running with it. Channel 7, MSNBC, The Tribune, your name's trending." Elias exhaled. "I hope Amani's safe." "She will be. But you won't stay anonymous after this." "I never was," Elias said quietly. "Just quiet." A knock. "We're transferring you," an officer said. "Orders from downtown." As they walked through the lobby, Elias saw officers huddled around a TV. On screen, grainy footage showed Amani pinned down, Thorne's knee on her back, Elias stepping in, the crowd roaring. The caption read, "Breaking. Federal judge arrested after defending sister from police assault." Someone whispered, "We messed up." No one answered. When Elias stepped into the waiting car, the city outside was trembling. Protesters were gathering. News vans lined the streets. The air smelled different, not of fear but of change. "Sir," the driver asked, "do you want to make a statement?" Elias looked out the window, the city lights flickering like sparks. "Not yet," he said, because words weren't enough anymore. Not here. Not now. Justice wasn't about saying the right thing. It was about showing the world what truth looked like when it refused to bow. And Elias Brooks was ready to walk straight into the fire.